YouTube and welcome to another GV anime review. Today I am reviewing the anime Classroom Crisis by Lei Juche, an anime that didn't turn out the way I thought it would, and not in the most positive sense of the word. Classroom Crisis takes place on Mars, which has been colonized by mankind. On Mars, one of the biggest employers is the Kirishina Corporation, and this is where our story takes place. One of the branches of the Kirishina Corporation is A-Tech, where a group of brilliant students makes the best rocket engines. But A-Tech has a big problem. They spend and sometimes waste billions of dollars, and the board of directors thinks it's enough. So A-Tech gets a new boss, Nagisa Kiryu, who is known as an extremely harsh and strict businessman. He wants nothing more than to see A-Tech disappear. But what no one knows is that Nagisa also has a separate agenda, an agenda of revenge. So the best thing about Classroom Crisis were the politics, and especially the backroom politics and agreements. Nagisa is an expert in manipulating people or turning situations to his advantage. It was very interesting to see how Nagisa would plan his next move of his revenge plan. And also the other way around was interesting to see, how Nagisa's plan at one point explodes in his face and how he then realizes that he's not the only one who knows how to manipulate people and situations. Next positive point was the way this season ended. And I said this season because there are hints in the final episode for a second season. But since Classroom Crisis wasn't that popular, I have my doubts if we will ever see a second season. It also doesn't need a second season. I felt satisfied with this ending, not like with a lot of other animes from summer. But back to Classroom Crisis ending. I was expecting a more cliché ending, like how most of the storylines resolving around a company that's going to vanish end. But Classroom Crisis gave it a twist. And a last positive point may seem something small, but it's something that I really appreciated. That was the subtext that always stood beneath the title. The most certain way to succeed is to try one more time. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. My university life hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows, and there have been times where I was depressed and I just wanted to quit everything. But then it were little things like this that kept me going, that motivated me to try one more time, and now I'm in a much better position than I was last year. So maybe a little thing to the mass, but something special to me. But there were a lot of problems with Classroom Crisis, starting off with the first 3 episodes. They were boring as hell. They were so extremely boring that it probably lost a lot of viewers. Even I was doubting what I was looking at because nothing exciting was happening. Second negative point was that there had to have been a lot more focus on Iris' storyline. By the way, am I the only one who thought that Iris was an almost exact copy of Nagato from the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, both looks and personality? Her story should have been the main storyline of Classroom Crisis. The main storyline of this anime isn't hers, and also not the possible vanishment of A-Tech, which seemed to have been the main storyline, judging by the synopsis and the first few episodes. Nagisa's revenge story, which was the main storyline, wasn't all that original. The story of a little brother being abused by his elder brothers and who now seeks revenge is something I saw multiple times before. But Iris' storyline would have been so much more interesting and intriguing, so it's an absolute shame that there are multiple episodes where nothing is happening in her storyline. Only the final episodes completely focus on her, and still we don't get a clear conclusion. I felt that her storyline was not completed at the end of the anime. This can be solved by a second season, but as I said before, I'm not expecting one. Next negative point was one of our main protagonists, Kaito. Or at least he should have been. To me, he wasn't a main character. He was a side character at best. I felt that he had little to no impact on the storyline. He should have been a lot more involved in all the storylines in order to be a main character. Then, where was the romance in this anime? I was promised romance. Where was it? Oh, you mean that little thing between Nagisa and Mizuki towards the end of the anime, on which we also don't get full closure? I didn't count that as romance. This romance was put into Classroom Crisis just to have romance, nothing more than that. Their relationship felt completely out of the blue to me. Yes, there was some kind of build up towards it, but not enough for me. The romance also had zero impact on the storyline. Usually a romance has a big impact on all the storylines, but here, nothing. So as a conclusion, Classroom Crisis disappointed. I was expecting a fun rom-com anime, but instead I got a boring, dull and uninteresting anime that I would classify to be more of a drama than a rom-com. So I'm going to rate Classroom Crisis at 2.5 out of 5 stars. I would still watch a second season just to see where the Iris storyline would go towards, but as I said earlier, there probably won't be a second season. Now I searched for a good recommendation for Classroom Crisis, but I haven't seen an anime like it before, since political animes are quite rare. So I went online to search for a couple, and a surprise that appeared was good old Gundam Wing. And Gundam does have a lot of politics going in the background for as far as I can remember. But I don't know if this is a good recommendation for Classroom Crisis. If you have one, feel free to post them in the comments down below. And with that I conclude my review of Classroom Crisis. As usual, you can find a full list of all my animes and reviews over at Anime Planet. As usual, I will put a link in the description box down below. Now if you want me to review a particular anime from this list, please put them in the comments. Also, if you have a recommendation for me, put them in the comments as well. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, visit me on Facebook and subscribe to this channel for more reviews in the future. I will say arigatou gozaimasu and I will see you all in the next video.